Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, one and all. Can you believe it's time to produce another episode of the Kench Niner Show right from here, the Kench Niner Studios in Pleasanton, California. Today it is Sunday, middle August, I guess, roughly. Wow, the Ides of August, roughly. How are you doing? Hobie Gal, I see you're here. I don't know what I'm going to do today. Yeah, we got this new update to the flight simulator, and I was looking through the notes. Again, it's obviously got a lot of stuff to it, and people are excited about it, but there's kind of nothing you can really put your finger on. I did notice when I was kind of looking at it earlier today that it had turned down a bunch of my graphic settings, and maybe that's why it was getting over 120 frames per second. But I don't need it to get more than 60 frames per second because that's what it's broadcasting. So I upped the graphic settings. We'll see if that causes a problem today, and it could. But everything's kind of an experiment, because yesterday, the technical quality of the stream was good. It was kind of a backwaters in Norway flight, so it wasn't very challenging, but it was certainly smooth the entire time. So that was a good thing. All right, so what's the stream about today? Well, first we have the props. This is a prop comedy. Prop number one is the beautiful blue Bluetooth controller. Only two props, but it's still props, a props comedy. And the second prop we need on a daily basis is the Diet Coke, freshly poured from the can into a glass with ice, thus promoting the issue of condensation. You can kind of see it there. Condensation somehow improves the flavor. Nobody knows how. I do. I'm not saying. Certainly not drinking it from the can. You get that aluminum kind of taste from the touch the lips to the can. I don't do that anymore. I used to all the time. I was like, nobody, it's so nice to have a can. You drink it, you throw away the can. No muss, no fuss, nothing to go in the washing machine. Anyway, we got the beautiful, we got the Love Lego. We got the Twitch glitch sign. We got the Himalayan salt lamp. Those are also technically prop comedy. Technically, those are props. Speaking of Lego, anyway, so they'll be flying around in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Hey, don't get excited. It's going to be a while. I got the whole intro to do. Flying around in Microsoft Simulator. Don't know where I'm going to go or what plane I'm going to fly in. All I know is it won't be what I flew in yesterday. We always switch. Then we're going to have the big brain games. It's always kind of fun to see if I could ever, work together as a community to get all 7 brain games won effectively over the threshold of points or whatever we're looking for. But that's when we whip out the Quirtle, the revealed, the tightrope trivia, the reunion, the loop, the New York Times connections, and the Octurtle, 7 of them in that order. And if you're hanging around there, you want to suggest words or, New York Times, what they think the connections are. It's all in fun, but I do them anyway. These are things I do on a daily basis. You're stitching, okay? Just one stitching and watching. Again, no need this. I love. I always like to say this. I feel bad. A lot of streamers, they go live and they're like waiting for chat to say something interesting. This show does not depend on chat, and in fact, I kind of vibe just kind of talking to myself and narrating everything that's going on. That's great. But occasionally, yeah, there are chatters. It could happen. I'm prepared just in case. But I kind of go on the assumption that it's just going to be a show. There'll be the big brain games. Probably just me. After that, big brain games are whatever. It's usually a mixed bag. There'll be the mid roll. That's a little musical break during which I will be frantically setting my piano up because I got to take the stand. I got to slap the stand down. I got to take the piano. I got to slap the piano. I got to plug the piano in. I got to plug the foot pedals in. I got to plug the output jacks in. I got to, what I mean? It takes 3 minutes, but it's fine. I'm used to it. Oh, and I got to pull my little throne over there. But hey, I got to play my little lounge act 3 times a week. I like to do it. Keeps it fluid, keeps it fresh. You got to be able to, if you're a real lounge player, you got to be able to sit down at a piano, play. People are smashing glasses. There are drunk people throwing stuff at each other. There's girls dancing on the table, whatever. You got to keep playing. You got to be able to take those distractions on. That's the essence of a lounge player. Distractions aren't a problem. But there's a whole nother segment there. If you see the title today at the end, it says Hubble Lego Part 3. Oh my God, that's probably an hour plus of Lego building, as have been the last 2 things. I'm not going to finish it today. I'll show you what I got so far. Past two sessions, we built bags number 1 and 2, and then bags number 3 and 4. Today, I will attempt to, not shockingly, complete bags 5 through 6. It will not be anywhere near complete. I'll show you what I got so far. So, and that will be the whole kind of post Ken's Piano Lounge segment. All right, so this is effectively what I would call the chassis. From that, it looks kind of like it's going the bottom kind of 40% of it, but the thicker 40%. But you can see a lot of interior features. There's this little kind of, I don't know what this light piping in there, and there's a way to look in there and kind of see some kind of mirror assembly or something like that in there, which I think that'll be open. So we haven't really built this. We've only got one out of the 3 sides that we'll need it, but then there's a whole another extension that's going to go up to about here, I think. So we obviously have not built much of it, but it's coming together and it's looking pretty cool. I'm having a good time. Yesterday I completed it, and then I was looking at this thing closely because I want to make sure everything's aligned and tight. And I noticed that one thing was not aligned and tight. There's a little piece in here, right here, right there, okay. And it was not aligned and tight. And I had to kind of just take this one spar out, this one piece out, undo it. And I found out there was another tiny piece jammed in to where that piece was trying to hook on to where its receptor was. It's kind of a thing there. And thank God I found it, because it was not hooking on straight. And once I did find that little thing, take it out, put everything back together, it took like 5 minutes. But I think it's always important to kind of go over the build and make sure nothing is like on a weird angle or not hooking up like it should. But now it's perfect. Okay, so in addition to that, there's this beautiful minifig. I mean, I have a million minifigs now, because these big sets come with between 2 and 4, 2 and 6, and so I got probably 60. There are tens of thousands of minifigs out there. This is a really cool one. He's got that gold thing. He's got a backpack with a special symbol on it. I can't really see what. And that's, yeah, I think there's another astronaut. I'm not sure, but this guy's going to be like working on the outside of the Hubble, like a servicing mission. Oh yeah, and then there's also this is what is the base going to become effectively once it's mounted. Obviously, there's the base, so this is actually the front of it here, and then there's this thing here which opens. I'm not really sure what the purpose of it opening and closing just yet, but maybe we'll eventually figure that out. But you can always, pick up the Hubble, but it's nice to have, obviously you want to be able to put it down on a relatively small, that's important to me, because I don't have a lot of display space. All right, but we're going to be building, I'm really excited about it. Let's put this down here for now. Because it's been months since I built a Lego. It was the last one I built were those really cool Star Wars builds, so they were really cool. All right, let's get to whatever the getting is good. I honestly don't know. So we got Sim Update 6. I upped quite a bit the graphics settings quite a bit. I do want to, there's a whole bunch of things, boy, when they come up with a new Sim update, it's always worthwhile to do things like, try helicopters, try things that I don't normally try, or try even, or especially try things that I'm really familiar with and see if I notice a difference. Because again, this Sim Update 6 is one of the bigger Sim updates they've had in a while, just in terms of kind of under the chassis things are going on. Presumably improvements, but often it's like, they fix 3 bugs and they make they make one new one. So there's like maybe 3 steps forward and 1 step back. You're making progress, but the new ones are the ones to be worried about, or to try to observe. Gosh, what would be an interesting plane that might, some of the ones that like these. These are default planes. Some of the planes have gotten fixes, but I looked through the list of stuff, and I didn't really see any planes that I normally fly and that I normally have bugs on. But that doesn't necessarily. That just means maybe the bug wasn't noticed. Anyway, what else do we want to do here? What else do we want to fly here? All right, we're gonna fly something real basic here. But that one I rarely fly, this one, the Skywagon. Okay, and configure. All I know is the configure button moved, but that's not even noted in the things. Let's see, we have ski, tundra, or standard, or amphibious. Sure, amphibious. These things usually fly like pigs, but that's fine. I just want to see how they fly today. interesting looking plane. So and kind of these are more my bag than trying to fly a jetliners like the 707. All right, so we flew Europe yesterday. It's dark there. It doesn't mean I can't make it light, but I think we're gonna fly, I don't know, somewhere in the U.S. I think what we should do is fly around Detroit and then land on land in that waterway in between them, unless somebody has a better idea. It's I have an ad on Detroit, so it looks really good. Is all I'm saying. And there's a lot of places to land. So you got Canada down here, and then America's over here. It's unusual, but I like to take off of this little airport. Is it this one here? There's that one, and then we just head east because it takes you right over Dearborn. There's a lot of it's 2,000 feet of asphalt. I think it's enough for this plane. We're gonna find out. It's a little short. I always like taking off these dinky little airports. And we're going to cold start it. Don't remember the cold start procedures of this plane, so usually it's pretty figurable. And if I can't figure it out, there is a checklist. Leaving, actually, it probably is not the live weather because I left it off. So that's one of the first things I want to do. Okay, once we go, okay, blah, 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 blah. There's the planes, Kench 909er. It's a Cessna 185 with floats, blah, blah, blah. You can see the little water rotors and retractable gear, pretty typical. Okay, we'll get inside there, right? Everything comes off. All right, so the first thing I want to do is go back to live weather. I don't know what the weather is, but I had turned it off. So that's easy to turn back on, right? Okay, it looks cloudy. But for now, it's not cloudy everywhere. It looks kind of cloudy. I think we're heading in a nicer direction. In that direction, we'll have to see. I could always override it, but it's not like pouring rain. There's some rain over there. All right, let's see if we can get this plane a start. Oh, what's going on here? All right, start it up. It is a little better going back and forth. Okay, so mixture to full, engine propeller 100%, throttle cracked. Let's move this because we've got to turn some stuff on over here. Let's see, battery on. At least we can turn the alternator on. Not now. Fuel pump. Okay, yeah, that's for emergency. That's for start. I always mess that up. Okay, then there's, let's see, beacon lights. Avionics master. I think there is a fuel switch, like under the seat or something. I'm not 100% sure where that is. I'm 99% sure, but there is. I'll find it. I'll give me a second here. Or by the side. It's usually somewhere tucked away. Is it back there? Sometimes it's up somewhere. Maybe it doesn't have one, but let me just check real quickly. Okay, I don't see fuel there. There's the fuel pump. Garmin's booting up. Fuel flow is shown down there, but I don't see a switch. Here it is. What is it current? Fuel select. That's really hard to find. So it's on left. And we're going to put it to both for takeoff and landing. Oh, it's a long story. All right, so now we should be able to actually start her up. Let's find out. See if that's stable. Again, it's been a long time since I've started this one, but it's fairly intuitive. We should have the radio on. Should be able to call. There's a little GA airport just out of Dearborn, Michigan. I fly this area a lot because I paid some money for this add-on. It looks good. All right, and it's a good plane because we can land on the water. Okay, is the gear off? It still has a. It definitely still has that judder when. That 2020 doesn't have. When you switch between an outside view to the cockpit view, in 2020 it's quite smooth, and 2024 it's always been terrible, but they've talked about improving it, and now it's just kind of bad. I mean, you see what I mean by that little thing there? Maybe you don't see it. It's better than it was, where it took longer, but it's still a weird little, it's better than it was. Let me put it that way. It's not perfect. I'm glad they're working on it. The thing is, 2020 is fine. It doesn't have that issue. All right, we're going to get ready to take off and check out Windsor, the Dearborn Windsor area, fly around a bit, go under some bridges, and then ultimately land, maybe even land and take off from the water, that waterway that's right there. It's not technically a river. Yeah, you have to see it. All right, we're going to come here. We're going to get ready for landing. All right, parking brake on. Flaps to the first position. Trim slightly positive, not too much positive. It's about there. Now it's takeoff. Depart straight up. That's as far as they're concerned. We're in here. Check your instruments. Oh, we had some lights to turn on. Sorry. Taxi light, nav lights. I don't think we need those. Blah blah blah. By the way, we don't. This fuel pump, I believe, we don't turn on for. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're cleared for takeoff, or we're clearing ourselves for takeoff ultimately. Now these, once you put these floats on the plane, they do handle like pigs. It's not going to be a huge flight. I mean, or it's not like flying. All right, not flying some kind of jet. All right, we're full power though. That's the throttle all the way in. You can hear that engine whine. Hopefully, a little bit here. And then we're going to watch out for the side wind. It wants to crab a bit there. All right, remember, you do have gear that comes up. It tucks in, and so that you can land on water. You land on the floats, and it doesn't affect the gear. All right, we got full engine, so that's takeoff. And then we're going to put our flaps up. All right, we're going to head east, not north. Hopefully, it looks like there's much better weather in Detroit. That's because that's where we're heading. Or I would change the weather. I like it when it's. I want to see what this is over here. I like it when we fly the realistic weather. Okay, this is what it looks like from here. What's our speed? Speed's around 100. Honestly, it's about as fast as you're going to go with a pretty heavy load of fuel. And we're going to be close to the ground. And you can see with these clouds, there's quite a bit of turbulence. I'm just trying to figure out. It's a big parking structure, but is it like a factory? Because there's a lot of factories around here, but I don't know. Yeah, it could be Victoria. Usually, I kind of head a little south. There's like a whole factory road here, but again, we're almost heading to Dearborn here, so that's the little airport we take off from. But it actually looks like it's nice and brightly lit up over there. All right, so I'm on the right track. I think I use my flight planner. Make sure I'm flight planner. I do have my graphic settings turned up. Yeah, it's actually I've done this before. It actually, you can kind of see there's. There's this kind of wooded area there and a wooded area there, and then these three long streets that go a long way, and these are all like automotive related, I think, businesses or industries, not necessarily assembling cars, but maybe assembling, windshields or making the wheels. Anything that can be made outside the factory, shipped to the factory, are made on factories that are usually pretty close to the main factories. And there's a bunch of huge car factories, but they used to be, whereas it used to be the center of American car manufacturing, it's kind of moved around. And especially if you take into account that foreign manufacturers make a lot of cars in America, but not in Detroit, not in Michigan. But yeah, it's a huge industrial area, and eventually we will hit like the Ford headquarters, I think. So there's Dearborn Heights. It's a ways. That's Dearborn Heights over there, right? Actually, yeah, Dearborn actually may be that way. But these are all. You can see how large this kind of commercial / industrial sector is. There's no houses here, but people live, on the other side and on that side in houses. And these are all nice houses because you can see all the trees. These are not nobody's seeing any who's living in those areas probably has any environmental impact from living near a factory area like that area. You can see a lot of factories under or maybe assembly areas or storage, sign. But yeah, a lot of buildings, a lot of square footage under a roof here. That's Dearborn Heights over there. Garden City. This is all Michigan. There's something over there. I don't want to miss actual Dearborn. But I think... No, let's just see here. Just check my map here. Because yeah, we're heading straight to Detroit. Detroit is directly ahead of us, and you can kind of see that these streets are aimed to Detroit. But I was saying, oh, the weather in Detroit's nicer, but now it looks like we're basically we're in a nice area, but Detroit might be a little rainy. Have to see. But here is definitely more. I like this. Like this is like a really nice like park. It's pretty large, and it's obviously well planned out. Oh, park, ha ha ha. It's a cemetery. I'm always like, you can really tell a cemetery. I was like, it's a park, but I was looking at it a couple times, like, well, where's the playgrounds? And why are those rows of little white stony things? Cemetery. It's really fun to be able to say, oh, I can pick something out pretty easily from the air. You know, schools, but man, these buildings are huge, and they're just one story of space. They're basically a roof over empty space, if you know what I mean. And then you can do whatever you want on the inside of them. Some of these definitely have more detailed industrial process, piping and duct work. Kind of cool. I always like to appreciate all these details. I mean, now is this a park or is this another cemetery? I don't know. Oh, a golf course. You can tell from the all the little those little the sand traps. They're covered with sand traps. Oh, that's Dearborn over there. Yeah, we almost missed where I wanted to go. It's further south. There's another band. We'll miss that. We won't miss it. But while we're flying there, note that as we fly over that industrial area, it's quite filled with homes. Single family homes there. Some kind of park over there. I don't know what's going on over there. But we're going to be flying into a major downtown city, and so if the simulation manages to continue, what are we looking at for frames per second from inside? It's like capped at 120. It's over 100. Oh, it's 87. That's still really good frames. It's going to go down when we get to the city. But so far, technically, again, they've been working pretty hard on this Sum Update 6, just getting all the technical stuff working. Okay, that way is Dearborn Heights, but this way is Dearborn. So once we get, this is kind of the industrial zone, I think, where the actual car, some of the car factories are. This one here, I think, is one of the car companies, and Chrysler or Stellantis, I believe, is here. You can tell because it has a 5-pointed, I think. I could be wrong. You have to look it up. This one here. Yeah, now I don't know which one that one is. That's a major, manufacturer. You can definitely tell the Ford building. It's that blue one over there. Before we get there, there's another. This is really dramatically arrayed. I mean, it looks more like a shopping mall to me than a factory because of all the parking. You typically wouldn't need that kind of parking. But then these buildings are all owned by the major American car companies in general. And this is the Ford headquarters. You'll see that one definitely has that logo on it. Nice big Ford logo. Beautiful and clear there. It's not a huge building, but I don't know why they need one. But then here you're gonna see, if we kind of go this way, which way? Oh yeah, this side. Oh yeah, you start to see a little stuttering, and it's gonna get stutterier. School, because of loading the Detroit, all the imagery needed for Detroit. Oops, I'm checking out my little points of interest there. There's the left side. We definitely have some tinted glass going on. Hello, how you doing? Ma'am, someday that will clear up and you won't have any skin issues when you're a little older. So this is this is marked as the center of Dearborn, but obviously Dearborn is kind of spread out. I wonder if there's more factories down here. Oh yeah, I think there are right here. Let's make a little detour here. You can see that Kench 909 plane being flown by a maniac at super low altitude. Because that's how we roll around here. Yeah, this is just a huge factoria where they. I probably these are kind of plants where they're producing the steel that they're eventually going to go into a stamping plant. When the steel goes into the stamping plant, it comes out as things like fenders and doors and trunks and roofs. Then it all gets welded together. But yeah, you got to make the steel first, and then you got to stamp the steel next. So this is called the River Rouge. What does that mean? Anyway, yeah, we're gonna head down to the river. We're gonna go under a few bridges. We'll check out Detroit, which is right down there. But if it's raining like a bastard, we might have to override the natural weather. You'd think it's the middle of August, though, and it would be nice there. It could be warm and just very humid. Hard to tell. Well, I could tell. There's a way of telling. I can look at the weather. What does it say for weather? Does it tell you? It really doesn't tell you. There'd have to be another way of knowing what the temperature is. I'm sure there is a OAT would tell OAT outside your temperature. I just don't care. Look it up. All right. So anyway, but as we look here, this waterway is the border between Canada and the U.S. And as I always like to say repeatedly, it's a quirk of geography that Canada is south of the United States here, and all of the United States parts of Detroit are well north of Canada, because Canada has this thing that sticks down into America. You'd have to see it. It's true. Power plants. All right, we're going to go under this is not the Ambassador Bridge. It's the other one, the Sal Bridge or something, right? But we're going to all the bridges. It's not hard because we are a short plane. The other day, I'm like, screw it. We're gonna go into the 707. You could probably get a 707 under here, but that tail is so high, or another jetliner. You really got to be on the water. And even if we were on this plane, at least if you're on the water, you're on floats. It's not like you're gonna crash or anything. So it's very trivial. Fly under a bridge. Probably not legal, but very trivial. It's not the real world. Anyway, I like this plane. It's a smooth ride. It's quite realistic. I get the feeling. The feeling that it's not going to do anything strange. I wonder if there are panel lights somewhere. Panel lights. If you were panel lights, where would you be? Panel lights. I don't see any panel lights. Oops. Take a look where we are. Wow. Uh-oh. I had a good time. We're back on track. I was looking for the panel lights. Where are they anyway? I think they're up here, actually. So you don't find any cabin lights, courtesy lights. Anyway, we're fine. Well, yeah. The other thing is, yes, even when it's burning off the fuel, we're still quite heavy. So yeah, I bought I paid like $8 or $9 to buy this Detroit add-on scenery from a guy who is apparently a Detroit native, like knows the area, and did a pretty good job. And has updated it a few times. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a see that train track. I don't know if it's a monorail, but it goes on a loop around that town. And there's actually a couple of trains. Okay, probably should look where I'm going and stop just trying to do the descriptions. Because we almost smashed into the GM building there. But we didn't, apparently. All right, let's go over, and they have these beautiful, all the buildings are great, but these stadiums, there's 3 stadiums right next to each other for the professional sports of the Detroiters. They have a professional baseball team, a professional football team, and a basketball team that are all quite good. We're all always in the rankings. The Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, and the Pistons, the Ford Field, Comerica Field, that's for the Bisbog. They look good at night too. And this is your Little Caesars Arena. Not kidding. Pizza. Nice. But yeah, if we can get through, you can kind of see that little white thing there. There's a white. That's a I think that's one of the stops of the train. Again, I want to call it a monorail, but I'm not 100% sure it's a monorail technically. It might be. It might just be regular, double tracks there. That's a train station. And then it goes. The cool thing is it goes into the convention center. So there's actually a monorail stop, and it goes through the building there. It comes out that side. Well, wait a minute. Actually, come to think of it, where does it come out? Oh, by the way, the other thing, how you know you're in the, how you have your thing installed, is because it has the waving Canadian flag. So this is Windsor. We flew already Canada, as Dr. Disrespect likes to call it. And Windsor is also, grew up around the car business because Detroit did. So there's actually some car assembly done in Canada for American companies in Windsor. I believe that actual final assembly of some cars. I'm not sure which models, but they're obviously right there. Okay, but I wanted to check. Okay, so I was trying to figure this out. There's like the monorail goes in, but then it makes a sharp turn inside the building. So I know it goes into the building, but where does it come out? And then it comes and wraps around it. Also, as you'll see, we will find it. We haven't seen it yet. There it is. There's the choo-choo train. There's the little electric train on the monorail right there, the purple thing. So it goes in there. Okay, yeah, so it makes a turn there. So it goes through there and it comes out here. So there's a monorail station that's entirely inside that convention center, which I think is cool. It doesn't go, this monorail doesn't go out to the sticks. It makes this loop here. It just kind of loops around downtown, but it could meet up. It does go to the, I believe it does go, it has a stop here at the where these fields are. And then it comes in around again and loops back somewhere, right? Or back there. So it's not huge. But I think it's pretty cool. Detroit seems like a really cool city. Never really been. Oh yeah, we got all this colorful stuff going down here. Like this really cool plaza. Tall buildings to avoid. Have collision detection turn on. But it's a very picturesque city. And again, a picturesque city. And again, we're looking at the convention center. It's interesting. You park all the way at the top. It's not, but that's not a parking garage. It's just it has roof parking. But then, okay, there's a whole island up there. That island up there, which is just sort of like, campsites and hunting and fishing or whatever, fishing or recreational. But then this whole section is kind of well done too. There's like a city front park here, like an amusement park or something, or waterfront parks here. And we'll check out the other side too. It's quite a bit of unique stuff. There's a lighthouse there. It's really cool. You'd think they would need a lighthouse. And then this building here, which looks like a Frank, what's his name, Geary, and some really old looking buildings here. Just the level of detail of this whole area is tremendous and very unique too. I think this is a university. I think it's the University of Michigan or something. Not University of Michigan, or Michigan State. And you got lots more buildings there. I don't know what that smokestack's in the middle of nowhere. Another bridge that's too low to go under. It doesn't have any unders. Like a suspension bridge. But the simulation, I turned up the detail level quite a bit. Almost to, not quite to max, but quite a bit higher than it was yesterday. And I was expecting either to choke out or, throw errors. So again, this island here, there is that. Okay, so that bridge comes to this island, and this island has all sorts of leisure activities, I guess, on it. It's not really. You might want to live there, but it's mainly for visiting. I'm not really sure what you visit. I think technically it's in America. The other side is Canada, but there's like a yacht club or something there. I'm sure there's a golf course or two. But yeah, this side here, as we go south, Canada. I mean, this is just a big island. You see, it's not hooked up to Canada, it's hooked to America, so I'm sure this is America. So the boundary is here. All right, well, it's time to show off the amphibious capability of this aeroplano. We're going to come in here and we're going to land. The only issue is you can see little areas where the water is disjointed. You know, it really lands best on flat water. I'm not 100% sure this is flat water, meaning like not a river, not moving water, because moving water has elevation to it, and the game has never really handled that well. So it's like stair stepping on water. I'm definitely seeing those artifacts on the water there. I mean, it's a lot better from in here, but and you know that angle's bad. This angle's a lot better. That's fine. Oosh. So I'm not 100% sure they've completely improved it, or maybe I just don't have the LOD dialed in that I want here. I will mess with it now that I know this is running perfectly smooth at this this level and still while I'm streaming, which involves multi-encoding, which means that the graphics card is doing more work than just creating this image. The flying image is really cloudy over here. See, it's one of those like waterfront factories, old factories. Something there, maybe some hotels. This is, again, that's the canna. Those look like silos for storing dry goods, grains and such. All right, so flaps down to about there. We're gonna slow down. The engine's gonna slow down. It's definitely clouding up over this area. We'll land a little closer to the Canada side. Again, there's some really like really nice looking waterfront stuff there, like you know, like an entertainment area, like little theater, amphitheaters and stuff, open air theaters. I think Windsor, Canada looks really cool. All right, we're gonna go flaps here again. The important thing when landing your amphibious plane is landing too fast is very hard on it can be very hard on the structure. You know, that little structure. It's designed to be lightweight. So you're supposed to land at 50 knots or less. So we're approaching. That's why I'm taking my time here. We're 60 knots. Right around 60 is fine. And now we have to find the water rudder. It's down here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so the water rudder is that little thing in the back. There's that flag waving. What the hell happened? How did I crash? What the hell did I crash into? That's a pile of baloney, computer. So that's a bug. It's not bug free. I mean, it can happen. Look, I was on the water, and you know what I mean. It was a perfectly good lander. It was like right up ahead here. Anyway, is my water rudder down now? Yeah, water rudder down. All right, more power. All right, we're gonna take off again and fly around the corner just a little bit more, and then we're gonna do the. I always like to do a takeoff water. Okay, how's our things here? Everything's here, good. Mixture full, propeller full, throttle full. A little positive trim. There we go. Just taking right off there. Oh, yeah, by the way, before takeoff, you want to put your water rudder up. That's fine. We're fine. All right, then back to air, flaps up. Engine back to normal. Less of the mixture propeller there. Very good. All right, we're gonna fly under the Ambassador Bridge. Oops. Throttle. There we go. So we just talk. You know, it's great. The water anywhere where there's flat water, we can land or take off from. It's very empowering. I think, you know, as opposed to just being able to fly. From one airport to another, and it must feel safe. You know, hey, if I run out of, if I'm running low on fuel, there's a technical issue. If I can find a large enough pond or lake, I can land there, or ocean, and it's all good. But what is the challenge? Where's the challenge in that? All right, where is the actual aeropuerto? Because you can see all these planes lining up to go there. It's not that far. Yeah, so we're just gonna zip in and kind of slot our way onto the Detroit's International Airport. It's another fun thing to see, and that's where the simulation is most likely to start chugging. Due to and in general, flying at this low altitude, 2,500 RPM. Good. But most of these planes are probably flying in Alaska as bush planes or something like that. You wouldn't really probably see them in the mainland, or maybe Hawaii. I don't know. Probably not Hawaii, but certainly Alaska or other places in the world like where there's a lot of bush flying. South America, Papua New Guinea is what they call it. there's the Ambassador Bridge, and again, this huge industrial section, which is quite ugly, quite brown and black looking, and probably is that way probably because they're storing coal, and that's what it looks like over there. You know what I mean? Coal is what it is. Black. All right, where's this airport? Which way am I heading? That's that way. We're almost there. Well, it's like 5 miles away. So that'll be perfect. That'll be the end of the stream. We'll just land there, and that'll be it. It's a huge airport. I could land on the. Barely even need a. You can kind of see in the distance there. Don't even need a runway. I could land on a taxiway. But I can't forget. Put the gear down. It's tucked in, so you can't land. We got River Rouge. We got Melvindale. We got E-Course. E-Course is a funny name. YN Dot, Southgate, Lincoln Park, Allen Park. You want to have a nice town, you better have park in the name. All right, we got industrial train activity there, or freight train activity there. I like it. Probably not a lot of commuter rail, a little bit, but probably not a lot. I guess there's some. Being that it's America, it's the airport. It's under a cloud, but we should be fine. All right, it's dead ahead. In a second, you'll be able to see in that part. There's a little point of interest. We'll say, "Oh yeah, Aeropuerto," and it takes up obviously a huge chunk of land. But you're gonna come here more often than other American cities, simply because I think I paid about $9 or $10 or like maybe $8 for an add-on. And it does look great. But the thing we didn't visit was we didn't go to the Henry Ford Medical Center this time, which I think, you know, our company, the group I work for, I think we're going to be, we actually, they're actually one of our customers in that we handle a lot of medical facilities for payments, the payment side, you know, you got to pay you with your credit card for something that, you know what I'm saying. Okay, a little bit less here. Where is this airport? It's this way. Not that way. It's there. I wonder, is it right under that cloud or is it to the right? It's kind of under both. We'll see. It's about a 5-minute flight from here. I always like to say that. I think it is literally a 5-minute flight. I'll give it more speed. We're doing 120 knots, it's about 130 miles an hour. We 135 miles an hour. It's definitely faster than driving there. You know what I mean? You know, it's 5 miles, 10 miles should take 5 minutes. And you don't get that sense of speed. Which antennas or something down there? Like an antenna farm. We got a tank farm, but the tanks. And then one of these classic subdivision style housing areas. I think Michigan does look very pretty though. Somehow gets a bad rap, but what I found in this world is when there's a city area that gets a bad rap and everybody's like, don't come here, from the people who live there, it's just because it's really nice and they don't want you to spoil it by you moving there. But like people from California are not allowed to move here for whatever reason, but yeah, which is fine. A little bit of a prejudice there. Because yeah, this is beautiful. Now in the winter, if it's snowing, it's probably not so great. But yeah, this looks like this road's going to head to the airport. And you can see it up ahead there. But yeah, we're just going to set her down. We're going to do some big brain games. The typical order. Look at that. We're going to admire that escuela down there. It's more like an elementary school because it's all low level, you know. Maybe middle, you know, kindergarten, elementary. Taylor. You can usually tell from the height of the building because the buildings are really tall. It's a college. If they're medium, it's a high school. And if they're like on one level, whatever reason. It's because the little kids don't want to go up and downstairs. Okay, so we got some other. Yeah, I've been here before. I don't know what it is. But there's definitely a bunch of little interesting enclaves. That I'm not sure if this is a school or a shopping mall. It definitely has enough parking for a shopping mall. But it's kind of small. It's about the right size for a shopping mall, actually, come to think of it. Like an indoor mall. But then you got a park over here. Right? Or maybe that's... Oh, it's a school. You can see the school buses. There's a school bus yard. I see all the yellow buses. I think every time I fly over that, I'm like, look at all the school buses. All right. I'm putting my gear down because the next time I see something that's flat and landable, we're going to land on it. You can hear it coming down, gear coming down, front gear coming down, back gear coming down. There you go. You just got to be careful. You can't land too much like that or you're going to scrape the back of your thingies there. We'll be fine. All right, less power. Lose altitude. All right, we're going to come in, make a left turn and land. I'm sure there's a bunch of planes in front of us. Don't care. This is my world. You're just living in it, every other plane in this game. But there it is at the magnificent Detroit, whatever, International Airport. It probably has a name. It's not just Detroit. Some other flight simulators are here. I don't know what they're doing, but they're here. What's our speed? I don't want to fall out of the... I don't want to stall out here. All right, yeah, this is actually a decent glide slope. Oh, look, there's a plane on our runway. DAL. What's DAL? Delta? What's DAL? Delta? Get off my runway, Delta. I'm more important than you. Because I actually own this game. And a similar... you know, you don't want to land too fast just because you want to land fast. It's actually you have it because you're landing on wheels as opposed to hitting water. Yeah, that Neo. It's like, what? Who's on the runway? Okay, we gotta get way down here because we're way up. Whoop, whoop. Gotta make a little nice touch there. Whoop. Stay on the runway. Stay on the runway. Okay, well, it seemed to land pretty easily. Wait, I don't have my parking brake on, do I? This is parking brake here? Flaps. Oh, parking brake off. I don't know why my parking brake was on. It probably was on the whole time. But no, it's pretty easy to land and take off. In general, to operate this plane, and in the real world, it is too. They're designed to be like most of these planes in this area. They're not designed to be hard to run, hard to operate. They're designed to be easy and safe, and you know, if you're assuming you do it right, you know what you're doing. Yeah, I do like this. Which I would fly it again. I'm not sure this particular route is necessary. Where does it want us to? There's like a big parking lot over here. Why is it taking us in circles? That makes no sense. I don't care now. All right, we're just parking on the grass. I don't care. Oops, I just tipped over. I was gonna run. There we go. All right, there's some property damage involved. That'll buff right out. A little Bondo, a little paint. Come on. It looks like it's cool. I don't know. I think they make the airport looks more alive when it's right next to traffic like that somehow. We also got to try it at night because apparently they've changed the nighttime airport lighting for almost all the airports. There's some notice about that. I rarely do that. Okay, so we're in here. The correct way to turn off, well, we can do fuel cutoff. Mixture there. We can turn off the alternator and the battery and the avionics master, right? Where's that? Somewhere around there. Everything shuts right off. That was a flight for you. I just admire this thing. Again, bush flying in Alaska. They are very much in demand. There's quite a few communities in Alaska, especially northern Alaska, which can only be reached by plane. Or arduous, you know, trek over ice mountains. I don't know why people live there. But they're effectively entire airlines, which are effectively just bush airlines that serve these tiny, tiny communities. And they usually own one plane, and if there's ever an accident in that plane, they go out of business because, you know, they can't afford the liability. And then somebody else brings a plane in because, you know, there's a demand. All right, that's neither here nor there. So that was fun. You know, I enjoyed the flying around. I would say that there's enjoyed it so much it'll be tomorrow, but Monday's stream is canceled or postponed, depending on how you look at it, to Wednesday. I'm going to the office Monday, which is hopefully tomorrow. All right, the category is moving to just chatting because we're going to be doing the big brain games, and there isn't a big brain games category. And even if there was, I'd still do just chatting. All right, so we're there. Let me get out of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Main menu, but hey, no crashing and very smooth. No resource warnings. This plane is very light on resources, particularly this choice. But we went through. I think they might have gotten the basics of the technical issues down. All right, so we're gonna let me boot up the big brain games here. Yes, I want to leave Flight Simulator 24. Oh, and actually exited. All right, the first big brain game of the day. Just kind of a warm-up game here. It's the Quirtle Extreme. I mean, they do like 5 of these a day. There's the regular one. There's the relaxed one or whatever. There's the rescue. There's the sequence. This is the extreme. The rescue is probably the hardest one. All right, we got one already upper left from our starting word, slump. Already got that one down there. Because it can't be plums. Couldn't be plums in any case. Now here we have NI something TY. I think it's got to be nifty with an F. All right, we're doing good. This is a warmer game. And then we have probably SMO something E. And it can't be smote. So I think it's got to be smoke. What, we're doing these in order today. And then we have blunt. This was a warm-up game, but it's what you call a win in that we solved it. Like, for example, I don't always win that one, but most of the time. Which is why it's a good warm-up game, but I picked these because these are challenging. All right, let's dive into the revealed. All right, today's revealed, August 16th, 2026. Animals and nature. 7 letters in the correct answer, not A or 6. Let's read the heavily redacted document, see if we can suss out what the correct answer in animals and nature is going to be. All right, blank, the thing we're looking for, blank, refers to family blank. That's always a fun way to cheat. A family of approximately blank, widely distributed blank of blank. The blank originated in the blank when the blank was dedicated to the blank and called blank of our blank. Blank are blank in blank and usually 8 to 10 millimeters, 0.3 to 0.4 inch blank. They have blank blank and are usually blank blank with blank blank or blank blank. Oh, it's an animal. Let's see what this. I have no idea what it is. Beetles. Beetle. Well, that narrows it down. That narrows it down. Some kind of beetle. So what kind of are? Oh, it's a ladybug, perhaps. That fits, I think, the category. 7 letters and kind of a big bill thing, and the name our beetle of Our Lady, which is how it got the name Ladybug. Ladybugs are having certain shapes, blah blah blah, short legs, bright colors, black, blah blah. So okay, that was pretty good. Didn't have to cheat. Didn't have to look up anything. Revealed there's your ladybug. Other players 3.9 reveals, 2.4 hints, 87%, pretty high solve rate, but we did better than them. You know, because we're smart. All right, guess what? It is time. This is it. We've hit the time that I dread. The Sunday tightrope trivia. Why is it more dreadful than the others? Because they grade the questions and they give you the easiest ones on Monday and the hardest ones on Sunday. And guess what frickin' today is? You know what I mean? It just happens to be Sunday. How come we get a Sunday every 7 days? That seems crazy. What kind of world is this? But in that case, here it is. It's already Sunday, and we have to do the hardest tightrope trivia quiz. And it's a 9-question multiple choice trivia quiz in which the speed in which you get the answer is even more important than getting the answer right. And it's hard to wrap your mind around that until you've kind of done the puzzle a few times. But yeah, you can get up to 900 points for getting them right, but you get up to 1,200 points for getting them fast. See what I'm saying? There's 30% more points available in the speed game. And that's perfectly as designed, because if they gave you all the time you wanted, people would just look up the answers on the internet, type them in, and go, I'm smart. But here you can't, you don't have time to look anything up. Anyway, let's just see how we do. I'm not optimistic. Based on other Sunday quizzes. Pardon. Caravaggio kind of popped out. Ugh. But that was already too slow. But these are the hard ones. Blood says helps it live high in the Andes, where llamas are known to live in the Andes, where apparently they get free little mints all the time. Those little chocolate mints. I would like to live there. Sailing ship, pro sports team. It was the San Diego Clippers until it was Los Angeles Clippers. No, they're named after the head, the barber tool. Flew in at least 5 missions. Wasn't it Clark Gable? That's definitely, you have to be old to know that one, even who those people are. So there you go. Helpful. Stay sad when surrounded by the jocundity. That's a very good, that's a tough vocab word, but I'll go with it. Usually it's jocularity, blaming. The first is William of Orange, Netherlands. I mean, that's their national color. All right, let's come. Let's focus in. Blue cologne. Chanel. Oh my God, total yes. Well, it couldn't have been at least 2 of those. All right, we crossed it. Let's see. There's One Direction on a. Never heard that term in my life. From France? Portugal. I was going to do Portugal, then I did France. Oh, damn it. I was so close. Oh, I was pretty close. I should have said Portugal. I was thinking Portugal, and then think maybe it must be France. Well, it's a cross, but it's 1820. It's technically a loss. We get 2,000, but we're moving on. We're life. Actually, I'm fairly happy. I rarely cross those Sunday quiz, but I was so close. If I'd gotten that last one right, we would have gotten the 2,000 points. It doesn't matter. It's not like I get freaking paid. All right, the next one, if we're getting them right, I just feel, it's a mixed bag. Let's see how we do on the reunion today. This is a game. It's kind of like a crossword puzzle. You don't get clues. You just got to suss out what these words are from the various clues that you get. Already I kind of feel there's a bunch of clues here, like a K that's on the road, this Y that's not at the end here, but it's on here. It's kind of has to be. I think this word on the bottom might be mayor, M-A-Y-O-R. So I'm going to try putting the Y there. I hope it turns green. Now, I can't think of any other word that's going to fit this, that when we have an M available, and we have an R available. So let's just try it. Maybe the D will turn green. Oh my God, we got a double green. This game is when you get it going, when it gets going, could it be anything else besides mayor? I don't think so. We're gonna leave this yellow one here because it's on the column. We're gonna move this one here. That's not gonna help us with a double green. Could this be K-S-K-E-R? I don't think so. It could be dresser. And I don't think it could start. Do we have enough letters to spell like knife? K-N-I. We have an F, but we don't have an N, right? So I think K is going to be the second word there. It's like S-K-I. Skill or skiff. We don't have enough letters for skiff. We know the letter is either S-K-E-R, in which case could be. We have a bunch of S's to place. All right, I've talked myself into trying it here. Okay, I'm good at this game. And now I think it is S-K-I something. But, so where would this U go? Could be there. D-U-C-K something. And there's a C and the R. I think the C has to go there. No, but the R went there. So the C has to be there. We're doing okay, but not perfect. So what is this word going to be? Clarify? Right? Yes, clarify. Okay, that's good. So we got a word. We got one word. That's the only. So now we have 2 words. Only 8 moves. We're trying to get this to 17 less for it to be considered a win. This word has to be a word, right? D something C-E. Well, it could be dice, right? No, because it could be diced. D-I-C-E-D. But it has to be D. It has to be nice. There's no other vowels that we have that are available. So we'll make that dice. It could be dicer, but that doesn't make. I think this word is just gonna be dresser, right? And then chafe. We have all the letters. Dresser. And then I'm just gonna do this since we kind of know what these words are gonna be. Dresser. And then this could just be kiss and duck. Got it. So it's going to be duck, and we should get a 15 or 16 here, right? Very nice. 16 is a nice win. 17 is a win. We've only got it in 13 once or twice. 16 is very good. Other players needed 18.2, and they're starting to get to know what they're doing. So we definitely beat them. Other players are not as good as us. But that doesn't mean they're not good. There's also the extreme version, which I'll do later in the day, because I like this game. And it's only slightly harder than the normal version. I don't know why they call it extreme. They should call it play a slightly harder one. Whatever. It's nice. It's free. All right, so we've got the Quirtle down. We did the revealed. We've done the reunion. We did the tightrope trivia. The next game on the typical list of the big brain games is called the Loop. It's from our friends at Britannica.com. What is this thing? Okay, this thing that you're looking at here is called a bubble level. Bubble level. Okay, so that's our starting pictogram. This one is a depressed person. Sad. Okay, that is a log bridge. Would a bubble level and a log bridge kind of go with each other? Because they're both kind of things that have to be level or something maybe, Not 100% sure, but let's put that there. This is a thumbprint, I'm guessing, and that is the trunk. Sometimes called the boot, but in America we call that the trunk of the car. Trunk lid, the trunk, open trunk for a car. That's a spiral galaxy, I'm going to say. It appears to me. We've got footprints leading to an oasis or something. Maybe camel prints. Not sure what that's going to go with. Bags of grocery bags. No idea. So far, these are tricky. That is a trumpet. I mean, I'm going to put, first of all, now that I think about it, the grocery bags go in the trunk of the car, don't they? Let's put those together for now. This looks like footprints in the sand leading to a oasis, maybe? Hard to tell. Trumpet. Okay, so now that's a tightrope walker. You think they're kind of walking over that? Maybe they're related to walking over the log bridge there. Okay, now we have an elephant making a loud sound. And then we have a guy blowing a kid blowing bubbles. Wow. Okay, well, the kid going blow bubbles, those are bubbles, and this is a bubble level. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is somebody who has to keep level, not this. But then this is like crossing a bridge, log bridge. We have the elephant who's making sounds. Okay, so the kid blowing bubbles, I also feel is next to the bubble level. What would he be next to? I I guess because you blow a trumpet, so you're blowing bubbles. You also blow a trumpet. Um, eh. So the things we have left is a depressed person. Is that supposed to be like an emo? A thumbprint or fingerprint? Spiral galaxy? Oasis, perhaps? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, thumbprint and these are prints. These are both prints, right? This and this. Elephant and trumpet have trunks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Elephant and the trumpet. Elephants trumpet and have trunks. Yes. So this is the elephant trumpeting, right? So we got the trumpet. I think this kid, he's blowing to the trumpet. The trumpet, this is exactly right. When an elephant makes a sound, he's trumpeting. So we know the elephant goes there. That's good. These are all pretty solid on what we have there. And I think, we have some kind of, animal prints to an oasis, maybe camel prints and fingerprints. I don't think that necessarily goes with the grocery bags and then the trunk of the car. I think the grocery bags go in the trunk of the. Oh yeah, okay. So a trunk. Elephants have a trunk of car, grocery bags. This is coming together, right? So yeah, that's what you were saying, and have trunks. So the elephant is between the trumpet and the trunks. Got it. Okay. That's community effort there. So where do we think the spiral galaxy and the depressed person, the emo girl or something, go? It could be. I mean, I'm not that 100% confident about this to this. I like this, that it's a bubble level and she has to balance like a level. She has to stay level. And then this crosses a stream. So maybe this. We're just going to check and see how badly we did. See, I knew the ones I had confidence in, I was right. And the ones I didn't have confidence in were wrong. But this is very interesting. First of all, we got 6 items correct and in the final position. So we were absolutely right about the bubble level and this and this. I kind of was only 80%. And the bubble level to the kid blowing bubbles, to the trumpet. He's blowing the trumpet. What screws me here is that we both thought that the trunk of the car and the trunk of the animal, but according to this result, it is not. But all 6 of these have a connection, which means all we have to do is reverse these, like that, and that. We know it's right, just logically speaking, because there's no other way they could have that connection and have those results. Now, the reason why we messed up is because the elephant has a trunk, but this is a tree trunk across the bridge, across a tree trunk bridge. So the tree trunk goes with the trunk of the car, not the elephant trunk. There's 2 possibilities, which could screw you up. We have it right, and this is considered a win. So the tree trunk goes to the car trunk, which goes to the groceries, which goes to the sad person, which I don't know yet, but we'll figure that out. I guess this person is in a depression spiral or something, is in a shame spiral or something, and that's why it comes to a spiral galaxy. The thumbprint, the relationship between the spiral galaxy and the thumbprint is there's a whirl in your thumbprint. There's a spiral thing. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna find out. All right, let's go ahead and do our yes. We got it right. Again, it was just if you understand what the clues were there. You just understood how it was working. Okay, so there's a bubble level, tightrope walk say level, log bridge, car trunk, so tree trunk, log. Grocery bags are in the under eye bags. Okay, so that's what the clue were. She wasn't sad, she had under eye bags. So under eye bags and then eye of the storm. This was not a spiral galaxy. This was a hurricane. I don't know how we got it right, not even getting it right. Okay. Fingerprints and animal tracks. Okay, fingerprints and storms have similar whirls. So I was thinking galaxies and fingerprints, whatever. Fingerprints and animal tracks are used for identification. Elephant tracks. Okay, so these were elephant tracks. Elephant trumpeting, trumpet blowing bubbles. All right, so let's see how the rest of the people did. Today's stats. Medium difficulty. We were in the top 26% of players for this particular game, and that's considered a win. There's two more games to play, and that is the Big Brain games. And so let's get to them. The next one is called the New York Times Connections. It comes on a daily basis for free from the fine folks at the NewYorkTimes.com or whatever they are. They give us, we're going to get 16 words and or short phrases. We got to, yeah, in this case, words and short phrases. In this case, and we got to group them into 4 groups of 4 by affinity, but we don't know what the affinity is. And there's often a fake affinity group, like the 5th affinity group that's not real. It's just not one of the right ones. Just to throw you off course. And there's a lot of wordplay, homophones, antonyms, preceding and antecedent words in common. Let's read them and see if we can see if there's a group of 4 that pop out as definitely in the affinity. All right, so we got party, actor, handy, grand, upright, half, I have unseen notifications, step, player, I already see one, blank piano, wise, concert, set, agent, show, great, from Neander, what the hell that's supposed to mean, and gig. So, I mean, show, concert, set, and gig go together, right? I think. But before we do that, I'm going to suggest also, and this should be okay, upright, grand, player. Oh, maybe it could only be one of these two, because concert has to be in both. No, because concert's not a kind of piano. Upright piano, grand piano, player piano. Is concert piano a kind of piano? Because it's either, because concert can't be in both show, concert, set, and gig. Party piano, I don't think, this makes it, it's a 50-50. Because it's either upright, so I don't know, is concert piano a term? I mean, like, concert grand is a term, but that's, we already have grand piano. So I'm not sure really liking the piano. Whereas show, gig, set, and then could that be something else? Show, gig, set, and half, maybe? No. Show, gig, set, concert. But concert can't be in both pianos. But I don't think concert's kind of. Oh, let's just try it. Okay, a good call on my part. Concert couldn't have been a piano. So, but it still could be 3 pianos, right? Because maybe I'm just not getting what the 4th piano is. I don't still have any idea what from Neander is supposed to be. A great piano. Okay, but anyway, let's see. Upright, but it could also be upright, great, wise, and grand. You know what I mean? This kind of calls out to me. Upright, as a stand-up person. And I don't see anything else that really fits there. Let's try it. No. Okay. Oh, interesting. Well, this is a hard one. Let's see. So it wasn't upright, wise. This is what it wasn't. And oh wait. Oh yeah, I didn't look at that one carefully because there's 5 things that it could be. But what else? There's definitely going to be some wordplay. Play like from Neander. What is that going to be? Does it end in something? From Neander. That has 0 meaning to me. And if we can figure out what it's, which means it could be wordplay, like was ends in something, ander. Upright, half, step, player. Again, player piano, upright piano, grand piano. But I don't know what else would be a fourth piano. Half piano, party piano, great piano, no. Handy piano, actor piano, step piano, agent piano. Player, actor, those seem related. Player and an actor. Hold on a second, I'm in no hurry. (1:40 to 2:40 p.m.) Perfecto. I will Diet Coke while I think about this again. Let's see. Handy has hand. Let's see. Upright could be thought of as right. Right. The player could have layer in it. Actor, agent, player, and then what? What would go with those? Oh, also we could have half brother, step brother, or half grandmother and great. I think these are prefixes for like half brother, step brother, grandmother, great grandfather. Yeah, okay. That one I feel some confident in. Finally, family relationship modifiers, fine. We're moving forward. Technically, if we can get, as long as we don't get any more wrong, it could be a win, but just barely. And I'm not that confident. Let's shuffle these up. Okay, shuffle them. Wise, upright, actor, handy, agent, player. By the way, there's definitely no grand piano anymore. There's no pianos anymore. Player, party, and from Neander. Just still don't know what that goes to. So we still have act, play, got to be one of these, right? These have to go together. But how exactly, I'm not sure. Or if they definitely do. I don't know. I don't have the confidence in that. Participant. Okay, I had zero confidence in that. And what is this last one? Hey, I don't have all day because it's obviously some kind of wordplay. Wise, upright, handy, and from Neander. That from Neander might be some kind of saying that I don't know. What's the thing there? Was it descriptors for our human ancestors? Okay. Wow. Oof. You know what? That was a hard one. I'm happy that we got that in with only one mistake, actually. That was a tough one. I still don't even really know what they're talking about. But like from Neander, because Neanderthals were named as the men from Neander. There was a place. Handy implies, yes, they were using hands. They had hands. They had opposable thumbs. Upright, yes, they were the upright when whatever. But that is a vague thing. And anyway, I had fun. Hey, there's one more game. Well, I'm not going to skip it. It's October. It doesn't take very long. Let's see what we do. This is the 7th out of 7 games. It's been a mixed bag, but I consider that a win, by the way. if we met, okay, this word W-I-M something Y, I think it's got to be wimpy. There's no in the dictionary. Okay, that's easy enough. What we get here is something H-I, could be chill or it can't be child. What else could it be, though, in front of that H? It could be shill, S-H-I-L-L, or because we haven't used C or S. So it could be S-H-I... Oh, and then there's E is available. So it should be... could also be... let's move on. Just see if I can see something else here. Okay, there's I-M, and there's an M and a P. Huh. No. Okay. Let's see. At least we have something that starts with a W-A and then has a G either there. It could be wager, and at this point we need the G and the E. We need the E and R badly. There you go. Now we know this word is going to be owner. That was lucky. Not lucky. I got skills. Doing this every day for like a year. It's still going to be about 3 out of 3 guesses. That's good. We can only get one wrong and still complete this game. So what this word is here is going to be spiky, I think. I don't know, maybe. See? Okay, that S doesn't appear anywhere else. So now I'm pretty sure this is C-H-I. And again, yes, we know it has at least one L in it. Oh, it could be chili. Oh. That's fine. I shouldn't have even guessed it. As soon as I typed it, I was like, wait a minute, it's 50-50. And I always get hit with that one. We could still potentially win. All right, what this word is going to be crimp. That one's spelled out. At least we don't have any guesswork there. What do we got here on this one here? There's a T somewhere. It possibly ends in I-L-T. So it could be built. B-U-I. I got good confidence in this. Dang it. What is it? Quilt. Could have been built. 50-50. All right, well, we're not going to win this one today, but I don't mind. I don't mind not winning every single time, dang it. This word is going to be... Then there's... B, most likely. Then there's an A and an L. L can't go there. It's Bell something A. What is this word? I'll figure it out. B-E-L something A, right? Oh, no, it could be B. Sorry, dumbass. My bad. B-L A something E. Blaze. Figured it out eventually. Now we were so close because we ran out of words to get quilt. I guess built is 50-50. Could have been built or quilt because we had not used B or Q and they both could fit there, you know. At least I figured out the U-I-L-T, but it didn't help because I was 50-50. Oh, we actually got the 50-50 wrong on the chill and chili. That would have helped if I kind of guessed that one right too. Or waited, maybe. Probably would not have helped to do other words. That wouldn't have. All right, well, that was kind of fun, though. Again, mixed bag, blah, blah, blah. Some we won, some we win, some you win. The community helped on a couple, blah, blah, blah. Had such a good time. We'll do them next time. Tomorrow's stream is canceled. Well, more like postponed to whenever the next stream is. Wednesday, because Monday is in the office day. So I'll be in the office all day. No big deal. That's tomorrow. But there's a lot of streaming left to do today. Oh my God, we haven't even scratched the surface, as it were. Okay, music, live music. Can I get into the music category? There I am. In the music category, I'm gonna have to run my mid roll, so that I can blah blah blah. All right, so I'll see you on the other side of that.